Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Inspirational Brands Make in India. I'm Devina Lasson. On this episode, we're going to continue our quest to find some of the most inspiring modern-day success stories in India of companies that are living up to the Make in India vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
मैं जिससे भी मिलता था पिछले 2-3 साल में हर कोई यही कहता था भाई अब तो बिजनेस यहीं से शिफ्ट करना है, इंडस्ट्री यहाँ से शिफ्ट करनी है। ये जब मैं सुनता था मुझे पीड़ा होती थी। आज जब मैं मेक इन इंडिया की बात लेकर के आया हूँ तो हम नहीं चाहते कि मेरे देश का कोई उद्योग, कोई व्यवसायी जिसे मजबूरन यहाँ से छोड़ करके बाहर जाना, वो स्थिति हमें बदल दी। और मैं पिछले कुछ महीनों के अनुभव से कहता हूं कि हम ये बदल चुके हैं।
Maharaja White Line, a leading manufacturer of home appliances, was founded in 1976. The brand manufactures kitchen, home comfort and garment care appliances. The kitchen appliances range includes mixer grinders, juicer mixer grinders, wet grinders, food processors, hand blenders, juice extractors, induction cooktops, oven toaster grillers, multi-cookers and gas cooktops. The home comfort range comprises of air coolers, water heaters, room heaters and fans. In the garment care category, the company offers garment steamers, steam irons and dry irons. Maharaja White Line is a part of Groupe Seb India, a subsidiary of France-based company Groupe Seb, which is a world leader in small domestic equipment. Groupe Seb fully acquired Maharaja White Line in 2014 to expand its portfolio by introducing international technology and higher quality products in the Indian market. Groupe Seb, with its brand Maharaja White Line, now has pan-India presence with 22 branch offices, more than 750 distributors and around 40,000 selling points. A veteran of the consumer durable industry in India, Sunil Wadhwa joined as the CEO of Groupe Seb India in November 2012. He works on the cutting-edge promotional and sales aspects of the brand to ensure it meets its full potential with an extensive dealer network. Let's hear from the CEO himself.
Mr. Wadhwa, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So let's start from the top. Give us an overview of the origins of the company. And I believe you joined in 2012. So where was the company at when you joined and where is it at today?
Yes. Groupe Seb is the biggest company in the world for small domestic appliances and cookware. It acquired Maharaja White Line in 2011 end, December. And then effectively we started controlling the company in 2013 August, and we bought over the full company 100% stakes in 2014, mid of 2014. So the era actually of control starts in 2013, and if you look at the company in the last 3 years, and we close in this December, we have more than doubled our turnover in 3 years, and that's probably the highest growth any small domestic appliances company has ever had in India.
Fantastic. Let's talk a bit about the origins of the company, though, when it started. What was the inspiration back then, and how has it evolved over the years to where it's at today?
So the company got started by an entrepreneur, and he ran the company for about 30 years. He built it with his own hands. He concentrated on primarily one product, and when it reached a particular stage, he thought it's better to actually sell the company to a bigger multinational for it to grow and prosper further. So,
okay. Yeah. Can you give us an overview of the range of products? And is there one or a few best sellers in particular?
So Maharaja White Line makes all the small domestic appliances that actually are relevant for India. The flagship is the kitchen electricals, which is mixer grinder, juicer mixer grinder, hand blenders and stuff like that. Then it also has geysers, room heaters, fans, small domestic appliances like toasters and kettles and stuff like that, and of course the room coolers. So there's and linen care, which is electric irons and steam irons.
Sure.
The flagship, as I said to you, is kitchen electricals.
Equipped with the state-of-the-art technology, Groupe Seb India's manufacturing plant based in Baddi, Himachal Pradesh is spread over a sprawling area of more than 10 acres, having an annual production capacity of 3 million units in food production and home comfort products.
Tell us a bit about the factory. How big is it? How strong is the workforce? And what's the turnaround?
We have a factory spread over 15 odd acres. It's a factory that we are very proud of. It's been running for the last 8 years. We are one of the few companies which actually believe in manufacturing.
Sure. Yeah.
And in fact, this program has got accentuated after Groupe Seb took over. The kitchen electricals, the room coolers are all made in the factory. And the advantage of the factories are obvious. Because we are one of the few players who have their own factory, we are at an advantage as compared to others.
And well, on that note, let's talk about the Make in India initiative. What is your view on it? Clearly, Maharaja White Line is greatly contributing to it.
Make in India, many things. One, Make in India is more relevant because the products in India, most of the products that we sell in India are actually consumed in India because they are very specific to India. Juicer mixer grinder, room coolers, room heaters, even the ceiling fans. These things are not really sold anywhere else in the world. So we got to do our own R&D here, and we must make the products relevant for the customer in India. So you're required to do them in India. You can't do them out of some other place. The second thing is, you can be much more efficient being in India. Your labor costs are reasonable. You got raw material availability. You got clusters which can help you keep the inventories low.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to really go and buy these items from China unless the volumes are minuscule. So for most of the items, the volumes are not minuscule. You would rather make them in India. And third thing, of course, is as the things develop, many of these items are also relevant for Middle East or Africa. At least many of them, because a lot of expat community of India living there and so on and so forth.
Sure.
And so therefore, doing it in India makes sense in every respect, actually.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the GST bill. What's your views on it, and how will it impact the FMCG market as a whole?
It simplifies a whole lot of things of taxation in India. It simplifies, well, there will be initial backbone required for IT to make this, to make the simplification better. Once you are there, the whole thing gets simplified, number one. Number two, you don't have aberrations of tax loopholes which were present in the present system, which disturb the market mechanism from one state to other state. And third thing is the transportation becomes seamless, the selling becomes seamless.
On that note, it's time for a short break, but don't go anywhere. The conversation continues when we return. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Voicewhat presents Make in India. Today I'm in conversation with Mr. Sunil Wadhwa, CEO, Groupe Seb India. Now let's talk a little bit about numbers at Maharaja White Line. What's the workforce strength like, your distributor networks, how many offices do you have, and how many people do you employ at your factory?
We are headquartered in Delhi. We have 22 odd branch offices. We have peak time sales force, a factory force of close to 700. We have about 300 odd people on our rolls. And that's how we are structured today. But we are growing. Our sales force, our demonstrators, our long arm salesmen, the number of people that we employ have more than doubled as the turnover has grown. And I think this trend will continue.
What about the factory? How many people do you employ at the factory? And what's the turnaround? How many products do you manufacture, say, per month or annually?
Yes. We'll do over 1 million kitchen electrical items this year, which is mixer grinder, juicer mixer grinder, hand blenders. About 1 million. That's huge, because that makes us one of the best brands in the country.
Sure.
And nobody does this kind of numbers in one factory. We'll probably end up doing over 100,000 room coolers in the factory this year, and so on and so forth. So we've got a large molding, in-house molding. We have a very, very good assembly, and we've got damn good R&D. So what it does to us is we are able to make the products as we want for the Indian customers, and we're able to control the quality. And we believe that our products today are extremely relevant. In fact, the products that you see around here, most of them have been done in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
We have done 150 products in the last 3 years.
So R&D is clearly very important to your company. What would you say are the other factors that really sets you apart and puts you a notch above the rest compared to your competitors?
Yes. Number one, the people. We have got some of the best people from the industry now. We got expats coming in from France who are again functional specialists. The second important thing to me is the distribution.
Yeah.
Because it's complex, you've got to manage multiple channels, you must minimize the channel conflict, and yet you should be present in as many outlets as you can for convenience. So the second is the distribution. That's to me an extremely important factor. And third is the innovation.
Yeah.
Innovation is what gets you, which keeps you, which makes you different from the others. You cannot have Me Too products. So people, distribution, innovation, at least in these three are the top important things for us.
Okay. Let's shift topic a bit though, and let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced along the way. Today the company is in a great position, but surely this company, like any other, has faced roadblocks. So what were some of the challenges that you personally experienced? Can you tell us, in a world that's so heavily impacted by technology and a technology revolution, what is the importance of the role in technology in your company? And how important is e-commerce, marketing, sales efforts on a digital platform? How important is that at Maharaja White Line?
So I will separate the two questions, the technology on one side and e-commerce and digital on the other side. So that's the technology first. Groupe Seb's basic forte in the world is that it is the most innovative company probably in the SDA industry. It has huge number of patents, and it brings out a very large number of innovative products in the market. And because they bring them out first, they therefore remain ahead of the competition. Otherwise, it's, Me Too products will never keep you ahead.
Sure.
Now we have the expertise available to us. Of course, we have our own R&D, but this helps. Group expertise helps. The second question you asked was about digital. And on digital, there's a lot of talk on digital, but just to give you some numbers, we spent close to about 30% of our revenue last year on digital, on advertising revenue, advertising spends on digital. Now, that's not mean, that's not small, it's a large percentage, and I can't think of too many companies who spend this kind of a number in SDA industry on digital. Our e-commerce sale is good, and I'll tell you what e-commerce does to you. Firstly, e-commerce actually, through e-commerce, you can showcase your entire assortment. That's a very big thing. You can't, in a small shop, you cannot showcase 100 products. You can't do it. But e-commerce helps you do it. The second thing is e-commerce makes you reach customers at places where distribution sometimes is not possible to reach.
Yeah.
At least in the SDA industry. You can do it out of mixies, but you can't do it out of every item, and e-commerce makes you do that. So we do spend a lot of money on digital. We spend a lot of time and effort with e-commerce. The challenge with e-commerce, of course, is that one has to manage the channel conflict. And that's the art. It's not so simple to say, I'll do 1, 2, 3, and I'll manage the channel conflict. So, well, it's not. But we do have to manage channel conflict, and I think we have done it reasonably well in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Now, we are one of the leaders, by the way, on e-commerce today. If you look at the major e-commerce platforms, we are the leaders in all the platforms.
Categories. So what would you say is the split of sales between your e-commerce sales and your retail outlets?
It's not only traditional trade, it is also the modern trade. It is also the canteen stores department, it's a government, it's an institutional business, and it's the e-commerce. So there are multiple channels, firstly. E-commerce generally for our category, for the industry, is not more than 3 to 4%, broadly. We are about 3 times higher than that.
So, Mr. Wadhwa, in 2011, Groupe Seb acquired 55% market share in Maharaja White Line. So, how did this impact the growth and the future development of the company?
Groupe Seb acquired 55% of the equity, and then we acquired 100% in 2014. So, I think there are 2 ways we manage the company. We managed the company from 2013 to 14 with 55%, and 2014 we acquired fully. Yeah. It makes a huge difference when you are a controlling partner and when you're a full partner. Because what it does to you is it brings in the whole group expertise can now come in as available to Maharaja. it has got, we can today pick up any of the group products, we can pick up the technology, we can ask for help. We have today experts working with us on operations, marketing and so on and so forth. We have charge on their innovation which they do latest and bring in the latest products in the market. It makes a huge difference. It's a much bigger group outside. It's a probably close to 6 billion euro group, and so obviously that whole expertise of the group is not available to Maharaja if it is not 100% subsidy.
Well, on that note, let's now hear from the VP of Marketing, Groupe Seb India, about the acquisition and the future plans.
This company has the vocation of really grow worldwide. It's already present in more than 150 countries. The objective is to keep its leadership, worldwide leadership in small domestic appliances, and this through an improvement also of our positions in India. We started doing it with Maharaja White Line in 2011 actually. We've really deployed a new policy, brand policy, product policy in 2014 when we acquired the total of the company. And we have some great plans for the future as well to grow even faster. Once we acquired 100% of Maharaja White Line, objective was really to recover the confidence of the trade and the end consumers. We have two pillars of growth for the next future of Groupe Seb India. The first being Maharaja White Line sales growth through new products and new categories and new regions. And the second is the launch of T4 brand, which is one of our major in Groupe Seb international brands. It's leader in cookware worldwide.
Let's now hear from the head of operations, Groupe Seb India.
Our attitude in the Groupe Seb is to try to implement the same processes that we have in all the other factories, also in our factory here in India. So that's why since we took over, we have made a lot of improvements. We have focused a lot on safety of the people and safety, of course, of the factory. We have introduced some technologies that will allow us to make the products also more safe, easy to use. We have focused a lot on quality of our products, so it's a key element. So we want to make sure that the products that are going out from our factories are products that are safe and the quality is excellent. That is the same standard that we use in all Groupe Seb companies.
Finally, well, we discussed the outstanding rate at which the company has grown over the last few years. So let's talk about this, the percentage, the rate growth, and how do you plan to keep up this trajectory in the coming years?
Our own internal targets are not on the basis of numbers of the turnover, but I think our internal challenges are in terms of, number one, how do we gain market shares in the key categories, because we believe that we make the better products, and they are reasonably priced. Number one, how do we gain market shares? So I think we'd like to judge ourselves in terms of market shares for some of these key categories. And number two, how do we go into new geographies where we are not present today? So these two issues are more important, apart from, of course, the whole measurement matrix contains the happiness index of the employees working with us. So within that, I think we like to judge ourselves not by the absolute numbers, because we know the absolute numbers can be sometimes misleading if you don't have enough market shares. Because market share is what gives you the price premiums, it gives you the profitability, and people's happiness is what really matters also in growth of business.
Absolutely. So monitoring market share and entering new geographies, this will really be the sort of focus areas moving forward.
People happiness.
Well, Mr. Wadhwa, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's all we have time for on this episode of Inspirational Brands Make in India. But do join us again on the next episode as we decode another inspiring business success story. Until then, many thanks for watching.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.